Guys, I'm Paco and you're watching Bad Batch of Books. Hey guys, so today we're going to be doing my March wrap-up. March, I read a total of 10 books, which is crazy. I had my best reading month this year so far. It helped that I was at work a lot, and the days I did have off, I traveled because I had the Tracy Dion event, which I took the train to for which was in San Francisco. So I took a train, and it was like a 3-hour train ride. Well, 2 hours train ride, 1 hour bus, like 30-minute bus. So overall, like 3 hours travel trip there and back. So I listened to audiobooks for that. And then so I did that. And then I visited my grandma, which is a 5-hour car ride. And I drove up, me and my dad drove up twice this month to go see her, my nana. And so I got like a bunch of audiobooks to listen to, and then I was working a lot, and I kind of like the only like escape I had from work was like listening to audiobooks and reading. So I read a lot this month. I actually did my first ever I decided to start hybrid readings. Usually I will physically read one book and then listen to a different book, not at the same time, of course, so I'm not crazy, but I really started to, like, at the end of the month, hybrid read books. Like, I would listen to the audiobook of one for like a couple chapters, and then when I was like out and about, and then I got home and I would read the pages. So I might start doing that now more. So let's get to it. We'll go to Stats Paco, and then after that we will talk about the books. So that was Stats Paco, thank you. So like I said, I read 10 books. 10 of those books, one was a comic and one was an arc. So the first we're going to talk about is the comic I read, and that was Avengers Volume 2, Twilight Dreams. This follows the 2023, I believe, run of the Avengers by, what's his name? Zeb Wells? No, it's not Zeb Wells. It's Jed MacKay, I believe. And this has Scarlet Witch, Captain Marvel, Black Panther, Sam Rogers, Sam Wilson, Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man on the team, and Vision as the roster. And this is their second arc where they fight against a King Arthur inspired team. And they also have Nightmare does some shit in this, the villain Nightmare. And it was like a solid 3-star read. The art was okay. I don't care for the art 100%, but it was still fun, and I will be continuing the series because I know Storm is joining the team later in an upcoming volume. So now we're going to get to all the books I have that we could talk about. So the first book I finished this month was Sorcery and Small Magics by Magia Ducey. I listened to the audiobook for this, and I really enjoyed it. I'm giving this book about a 4 stars. So this book follows Leo Vander Lovage, or Leo. This is a enemies to lovers, slow burn, capital slow burn, academic, like light academia rivals book, and at this magic school. And Leo, he is very much a bard-like character. He likes music, and his magic, can't perform or write. He writes spells. So the way the world works, you have people who write the spells, and then you have the people who say them, and they can cast the magic. But he can't write big, like, powerful spells, deep magic, or big magic. He can only do, like, without, like, disastrous stuff happening. He can only like do cantrips and like small magic, like change the color of your hair or like make you smell good. So he can't do a lot of that, and he also is kind of a slacker. He doesn't really try, even though he's like from this really rich family. So he's like, everybody has these high hopes for him, but he's like, I don't care. I want to play music and get drunk instead of like joining the army or making a name for myself. And then we meet his love interest, who in this book is named, I'm not looking at the description to remember what his name is, Sebastian Grimm. Grimm is a kind of a scholarship kid. He is from a poor village, and he is a caster, so he's able to cast magic, and he's a star student. He's like the golden child of the school, even though he's very dark colored, like gray, broody prince, not prince, but broody character type vibes. And he kind of like is irritated by everything Leo does. And in I don't know if it's their final or junior year of the school, they are paired together, and something goes wrong where a curse is cast on accident. And now they are bound together, and they have to try to break it. And it's fun. It's a really fun, like, if you like bards in D&D, Whimsy magic style. You'll enjoy this. It's MLM. It is very slow burn. This is a first spark in a series. I did not know that. And they don't even really get to get into spoilers for the book. They don't get together in the end of the book. Like, there's going to be more. And they kind of start to, like, have vibes. But when I say slow burn, this is slow burn. And I really enjoyed it. I thought this was really fun. I loved Leo's character voice that he had as a character, and I thought it was fun. So I'm excited. The only thing I really wish, and it kind of happened at the end, is I wish that this is dual POV. I'm hoping that more books in this series we get Sebastian's POV. I think that would be really fun. There is one chapter in here where they kind of play off each other in POV styles, and I really love that and wish we got more. So, like I said, I'm giving this 4 stars. The next book I read was The Rose Bargain by Sasha Payton Smith. This is a Bridgerton-inspired fantasy, but where, like, you know, you have the town and you have girls debuting in society, but the twist is that, like, the leader is the Queen of Fairy. Leader of London is the Queen of Fairy, and every year, when the girls enter society, they are able to ask for a bargain. So, and this is very, like, IRL Fae, where it's like, yeah, you could have, like, a perfect singing voice, but you don't have toenails. Like, it's those kind of bargains are made. And so, but this year, when our main character, who is named, because it takes place in 1848, Ivy is debuting, because the previous year her sister debuted and disaster struck, but kind of made them the laughingstock. So Ivy is very, like, trying to find the best situation she can per sister for her family, because her family is kind of getting, like, they're losing favor in society. But when Ivy's debuting, the queen is like, hey, my fairy prince son is of age and he is getting married, and whoever wants to can sign up for this competition and to become his bride. And so Ivy enters, and it's like Selection meets Bridgerton with fairies. And I thought it was pretty fun. Was it the best read? No, but it was a really fun, solid 3.5 read. I thought the way they did the fairies is really interesting, but I felt like it was too distracted by the selection process of it. And I will be reading book 2, and I will probably check out more from this author. This is the Fairy Loot edition, which is really gorgeous. Yeah, but I enjoyed this 3.5. Ivy was a fun character. The romance and the, like, love triangle was kind of predictable, and I enjoyed it. Next read we have here is The Scarlet Alchemist by Kylie Lee Baker. You'll notice this month I read a lot of my Fairy Loot books, which I'm very happy, because one of my challenges is to read a lot of my Fairy Loot books this month. But I listened to this on audiobook, and this book follows Zilan, who is an alchemist, so she can do magic. She is from this poor village, and she makes money by being a necromancer, because the world that this lives in, the royal alchemist has discovered a way of immortality. By eating gold, the royals can live forever. And Zian is an alchemist, but she could, like, bring people back who have died to life. And she is studying to become a royal alchemist, so her and her cousins leave their small town to the royal city and tries to become a royal alchemist. And then there's mysteries and stuff, and that's all I want to say. I think it was really fun. This is dark. This is a dark read, like a dark fantasy. I did not know that, but it was still really fun, and I will definitely be reading the sequel. So I'm giving this about a high 3, like a 3.75. Next was the biggest surprise for me, and that was The Wren and the Holly Library by Keith A. Lind. So this is a book I got in the Romantasy box. So I get the Romantasy Fairy Loot box, and of the Romantasy Fairy Loot books I've read, I thought they were okay. I haven't really loved any, so I was like, I want to read all my Fairy Loot books, so let me read this. I might cancel my Fairy Loot Romantasy subscription just because I haven't found any that I've been like, oh my god, I love this. But this bitch came along. So this is about Kurth, who is a thief, and this takes place in a post-apocalyptic world that is reforming itself. So it's New York City, and it's like after monsters have come out of the shadows, and there was this giant war between humans and monsters, and now, like, the world is trying to kind of get a semblance of normalcy back to itself. But Kirsty is a thief. She's on the street. She is hired for this one thing, and then she accidentally stumbles into the home of our love interest, Graves, and like mysterious shit is happening, even more mysterious than like monsters, because magic is involved, and she's able to like do shit she shouldn't be able to, and so Graves kind of instead of like breaking the monster law that happened, he hires her to like do a task, and it was a really fun urban fantasy. This book is what I wanted Crescent City to be, and I'm hoping the sequel is what Crescent City to be. I really enjoyed this. I thought it was fun, and just it wasn't like is the like great literature, no, but it was really fun, like romantic read, urban fantasy vibe, and I was eating it up. Like I was listening to this and I was like pleasantly surprised. So I'm giving this a 4 stars. Like I said, if this is what I wanted Crescent City to be, like we had like a city, and you had werewolf pack that ran a club, and then you had like vampires that did this, and then just this and this, and it was really fun. And a lot of, I did not know we were going to be getting to like Celtic lore in here, but we did, and I enjoyed it. Woo, how many books have we done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Halfway there. Okay. The next book I got here is Monsoon Rising by Thea Gonzon. This is the sequel to the Hurricane Wars. So I don't really want to get too depth into that, but Hurricane War is about Alaric and Talzin, who are on opposite sides of war. Alaric can do shadow magic, Talzin can do light magic, and they hate each other. They're forced to get married, and the first book is kind of the setup. This is their marriage, and an incident that they were training for in book 1 happens in this one. And I really don't want to get too much into this, like plot-wise, so I'm going to put it down now. But I'm giving this book like a 3.5, 3.7. I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it. I thought it was really fun and a good read and a really good character moments, but I felt like the plot we wrote, like a lot of it was no plot, just characters. And I love that. So like, I didn't hate it, but I was like, okay, got to a point where I was waiting for stuff to happen. So I still enjoyed it, but I just felt like, okay, we've been doing this for like 100 pages. Come on. But like I said, I still enjoyed it. I will be continuing the series. I think the characters are fun. This had more spice in it, and the spice was fun. And so, yeah. So the next book I have is my first 5-star of the year that was not a reread, and that was Oathbound by Tracy Deonn. I finally got to this after going to the author event for her. I listened to the audiobook of this, and oh my god, I loved it. This is, like I said, 5-star read. If you don't know what this book is about, this is about Bree, who goes to a predominantly white school. It's a college. She's in an early acceptance program for it, and one day her mom has just died in the first one. Her mom has just died. And one day while out at a party, she sees these kids murder something that she's not human. And she is like mysterious with magic, and she goes and finds and gets involved. This is the 3rd book in the series, and I loved it. Tracy Deonn, The Woman You Are. I did not see these plot twists coming. The character development that Bree went through to certify her for the last book in the series is great. I loved Mariah. This book made me a Nick girly. I was not a Nick fan, not a Nick hater, but not a Nick, like I was very either way on Nick or Sel, but this book made me a Nick ride or die. I love Nick in this. My dream is for our triangle, our little happy love triangle, because like, yes, please do that for us. But I really enjoyed this. This was our first book where we had like other characters' POVs besides Bree, and I loved it. I loved our little bits of Will we got. Spoilers for just a character that's involved in the POV, but I really enjoyed it. So 5 stars. Like, yes, please, more. Give me more. I need book 4 now in my life. I need it now. Okay, so the next book I read was an arc, and that is Sally Vishon by Sandra Proudman. This is a Zorro retelling when a Latinx in fantasy inspired by El Zorro, when one girl becomes a masked heroine to stop a man from destroying her town with a stolen powerful magic if she doesn't fall in love with the boy in his company first. So I enjoyed this. I gave this about a 3.8, rounded up to a 4 on Goodreads. I thought this was a really good YA book. I thought that this is one of the first books, this is the first book in a while, I guess, YA book I've read where the character, I'm reminded that she was a teenager, and I felt like Sandra Proudman understood like a teenager's insecurities and mentality really well. Because a lot of times you're reading YA and you forget these characters are like teenagers, but even in these like fantasy situations, you're forgetting they're teenagers. And I felt like you didn't with her. And I really enjoyed the family dynamic that she brought into it, and the magic was fun. I wonder if there's going to be more, because this is a standalone. I will say though, I'm seeing this book kind of be targeted as a romantasy, and it's not really. The romance is in there, but it is not a core part of the book. It's like in there, but this is mainly about our main character, Lola de la Peña. This is her journey and her kind of like growth and stuff like this. So you're in her head a lot, you're in her world, and like her relationship with her family is just as important as like the love interest. So I really enjoyed that part of it. So like I said, the book comes out in May. I believe May 19th is when the book comes out. I'm so happy and grateful that I got an ARC. I got to meet the author and got it signed. So if you are a big YA reader, definitely check this out. This was fun, and this will be a good like read for YA for like teens. Whew, out of breath. Okay, we got 2 more books. We can do this, guys. So the next book, these are the last 2 books I finished in a whirlwind. I had like 3 days left of the month, and I was like, I need to finish these. So I finished Melissa Blair's A Vicious Game, which is the 3rd book in the Halfling saga. This follows Kara. She is the blade for the king, elf, half-elf, halfling, and she is basically like the his royal sword, and she hates doing it. She hates the king because the king is a colonizer, and his people colonized hers, and all of the female elves are like put into this assassination. Half elves are like put into the assassination thing, and shit happens. This is the 3rd book in the series, and I really enjoyed this. The twists and turns were twisty and turny. The magic was fun in this. This is just a really great fun series. I'm rating this about a 4 stars, 4.5 almost. I am so excited to be on the last book, and I really can't say much more about this series. Maybe you guys might get a series review of this book series coming up in the future. Okay. We are doing this. Okay, the last book we have is The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett. This book is the first book in the Shadow of Leviathan murder series. So this book follows, I just finished this book too. What is his name? So Dinos Cole, who is the assistant to, Anna Diobra, who is an investigator. She's very Sherlock Watson style an investigator, and it follows his point of view as he assists Anna in this murder, where they go to this house in this noble house, and a guy has basically has grown out of him, and it's a murder, and they have to solve this murder because similar murders are happening throughout in the other cities. Also, there's like these like Attack on Titan style leviathans. There's a wall. The murders happen on the wall. It protects the empire. Like, it is pretty interesting. The murder mystery aspect was really fun. This is like, I think, my first like murder mystery book I really read that wasn't like YA, and I really enjoyed that part. It left me twisting and turning. I didn't see certain parts coming, and I enjoyed it. I will most likely be reading the sequel. It was a really fun read, and this is my first book by Robert Jackson Bennett, and I will be picking up more by him. I'm giving this book a solid 4. So like I said, a really solid reading month rating wise, and I got to read a lot. So what did you guys read? I know Oathbound was my favorite read of the month. What was your guys' favorite read? And I will see you guys next time. Bye!